If you're feeling stuck in life or you don't know how to go get the things that you want, today we're going to talk about a couple things that are going to drastically improve the speed at which you attract everything that you want in life. My name is Nolan Ulm. I'm an online fitness professional and current D1 football captain at Eastern Washington University. I have 1,000 yards career receiving heading into my senior year, and excited to talk about this with you. So there's a couple things here, and this is something that I learned about the past couple weeks with one of the top mental performance coaches in the world. With my goal of playing in the NFL, I've been able to be around a ton of current NFL players and then also a bunch of coaches that are, have either worked with or at the NFL level or with NFL players. And here are a couple things that, from the top athletes in the world, this transitions just to everybody in life, business. These are the things that come back to and how important these things are. So the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, it's this region in our brain right here. Now, this is what I like to call the David Goggins muscle. This is absolutely groundbreaking on the science, the studies behind what is coming out behind this thing. The coolest thing about this thing, the anterior cingulate cortex, this part of our brain right here is something that controls, as we see here, it regulates emotion, it controls our pain processing, and it improves our decision making. How do we strengthen this? Because if we can learn to regulate emotion, we can process pain better. Not just physical pain, but you get let down, you lose your biggest customer, you look in the mirror, you don't like what you see, or something really bad happens. You want to turn to these vices. This also improves decision making. So it's not something that you're born with. Some people don't have more willpower than others. This is something that can be improved because the anterior cingulate cortex is actually something that can be grown. Now, the most exciting thing about this is that this means that you can take anybody from being not disciplined, maybe they already have a little bit of discipline, and you can raise that. So how do we strengthen this area in our brain? The answer is, I said this is the David Goggins part of the brain. You guys know David Goggins, who's going to carry the boats. That whole mindset of doing stuff that you really don't want to do. Doing stuff that you don't really want to do. We strengthen this by doing the things we actually don't want to do every single day. Every single day. And this is why I preach to my clients, anybody that I work with, you have to start doing hard stuff every single day. That doesn't mean you need to go run for a marathon every single day. No, you just need to go do something that you actually don't want to do. And when you do that, it strengthens this and it improves these three big pillars. There's so many other benefits to this as well. However, this is such a huge thing. If you can really understand this, because if you say you know but you don't do, you don't really know. Everyone's hard thing is going to look different than others. That doesn't mean go wake up in the early necessarily. Maybe that is for you. Maybe you need to be consistent with yourself and wake up at 5 a.m., 4 in the morning, whatever it is for a consistent amount of time. Maybe your hard thing is you need to go have that talk with someone, even meaning to have. Maybe the hard thing is you just need to start working out every single day. Maybe that's what you need to do. Screw rest days, screw science. You need to strengthen this up because guess what? All that stuff is great, and I believed in science-based training and doing things the right way. However, if this isn't strong, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter. So this is why mindset, and not just this wooey, word that people throw around when they talk about mindset, actually putting science behind it, and then also like, how do we actually do this? And it's doing the thing you don't want to do. You already know what it is. You already know what it is. You wake up, you're like, I don't want to do it. This is why cold showers, the cold never gets easier. The cold never gets easier. So that's what I would say, like cold showers, reading, having the conversations with people that you need to have, being real with yourself at the end of every day, really looking at what did I take action on, what did I not take action on, and then asking off the things that you said you were going to do but you didn't do. Ask yourself this question, write this down, is what am I afraid of? Because that's usually what it is. Okay, so the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, it just says cingulate on this picture, but this is it right here. This is so important. Strengthen this up by doing hard things daily. Okay, next thing. I learned this directly from Tony Robbins, working with him, being certified with him and Chloe Madonna's in their Robbins Madonna's training as a strategic interventionist and life coach, whatever. Basically, I have a ton of skills that can get you to being successful, just like I have in sport and in business so far up to this point. So, the triad. There's three things that encompass this, okay? So this is the model directly from Tony Robbins. Everything, every performance, how we show up in life is state related. What is state, right? It's your ability basically to control your emotions. And when we say state, there's lousy states, there's peak states, there's there's a bunch of different type of states. It ranges. Here's how we control it. There's 3 things. You might have already heard this before. I'm going to tell you right now, the difference between people that are successful and people that are not is they take actions on the fundamentals every single day. In football, it's so simple. Receivers, what do? We catch the ball. Does it ever change? No. So what do the receivers at the best? I trained with Brandon Ayuk, first team All-Pro with the 49ers last year. And what was great about Brandon? He had mastered the fundamentals. So just like in life, the triad is not something you can argue. It's a principle. It's a law. We create emotion through our triad. And so you need to master this every single day. So what a triad is, it's how we create emotion, sorry. So if I were to point behind this wall and I said someone just won the lottery, what would they look like? You describe them arms up, cheering, right? Someone scores a touchdown. Someone doesn't make a play, or somebody is depressed. How do they look? Their physiology. So we create emotion with our physiology. Now, I know you're going to say, I met Coach Mark Few, head coach at Gonzaga basketball, and he's all hunched over all the time. Okay? There's caveats to every single one of these things. As a base, though, I guarantee you, when Mark and them, they win the championship, he's smiling, and he's hyped up. Okay? So physiology. Focus. And this is through our questions. So we all have a pattern of focus. You're constantly asking yourself a question. If you disagree with me, you're asking yourself right now, do I ask myself questions? That's the voice in your head, and that's what controls your focus. We all have a primary question that we have in life. We're not going to get into that today. That's a huge part of Tony Robbins and what he talks about. However, there's 3 things that you can come back to is, do you focus on what you have or what you don't have? Do you focus on the past, present, or the future? Do you focus on what you can control or what you can't control? And based off what you focus on with these 3 base pillars will be the quality of your life and the success that you will achieve. The most successful people look in the past briefly to connect the dots. They're in the present acting on their future plans. They don't live in the past. They don't live in the future. They dabble in each in order to fully take right action in this present moment. And then what you have or you don't have, right? Like, when you are in a state of gratitude, it's a state of receivership. So you start to attract more of what you want in your life. What you can't control, you're going to drive yourself crazy. Now, a lot of people will focus on, right, like, what's wrong in my life? What's wrong? Hey, what's wrong? What about what's right? What about what's right? If you control your focus relentlessly toward what you want in your life and who you're becoming, you will create that version of yourself. The last part is meaning, and this is like the most important thing. We take a meaning from everything in life. I look outside, it can be a beautiful rainy day or it can be a horrible rainy day. This wall behind me is called a wall because we ascribed language to it, which therefore gave it meaning. Okay, so meaning and language that you use in your life is so important. And the biggest distinction, and some people might fight me on this, everything happens for you and not to you. Even my dad passing away when I was 5. Oh my goodness, he gave me a fire like no other. I wouldn't have ever had my stepdad. It's happening for me. It's happening for me, not to me. And that's a relentless approach to always taking the meaning that empowers you. Because that's intelligence, guys. That's intelligence. If you're taking a meaning from things that they're happening to you, and then you get in this emotional spiral, and then you go to your vices, it's unintelligent. Because it's literally not serving you in any way, shape, or form. So there's the triad: physiology, focus, questions, meaning, language. Okay, so that's these 3 things make your state every single second of the day. Your emotional state, how you show up. So what you do is you do hard things every single day. How do we strengthen the triad? You can do these things called power moves. In the morning, you get into a peak state, and I want you to celebrate. You go, yes! Right? And you have a little move that you go to. That can be one thing, or physiology. Focus. You can have a list of questions that you intentionally ask yourself at the beginning of every day and the end of every day. So there's a list of them. Huep Jessalu, okay? What do I want? What am I happy about? What am I excited about? What am I grateful for? What am I proud of? What am I enjoying? How can I love, serve? How can I appreciate God's grace and guidance more in this moment? I could go on and on. You can write all those down. At the end of the day, you can ask yourself, what went well? What can I work on And what am I going to do tomorrow to improve it? So there's some power questions you can ask. Meaning, language, it really just comes down to your beliefs. Really comes down to your beliefs. And the power of transformational vocabulary. This is just all off the dome, okay? This is in my nervous system because I've studied it for so long. You can change from, hey, how are you doing? Good, to I'm doing absolutely incredible, phenomenal. You woke up today. That is people don't celebrate that enough. It's a miracle. It's incredible. Life is incredible. And then you can downgrade maybe some of your words, like, how was that terrible? How was that inconvenient? Right? So the power of transformational vocabulary will shift the meaning that you put in your life, okay? Don't want this to get too much longer. Here's some base fundamentals. You come back to these every day. You practice these every day. I do all those things every single day, and I'm always doing hard things every single day. You do these things, you will be successful, and you will transform your body. This is really the key to it. And a lot of these are linked to food, all these different patterns that we have. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to see if it's a good fit to work with me in our coaching program, our fitness coaching program, where we help busy individuals shed body fat, get lean, and really just transform their life, then click the link down below and book in a time to book a call. In terms of everything else, go follow me on Instagram and follow me on the day-to-day. See how I do it all. I balance business, nonprofit, football, navigating all these goals that I have. Just go follow me on Instagram and like and subscribe if you want more of this content. I appreciate all you guys. Keep making it happen. Out.